Recording live from a gas station bathroom because that's the only place I could get Wi-Fi. This is That One Time in Rehab podcast with Craig Tasman.
So today what we're going to do is we're going to start a business today from start to finish. It's not going to cost any money, and this is something you can do for free. There's a lot of things you can do for free, such as podcast is free. It brings in money. It's a decent side hustle, but there's a lot of work behind it, a lot of video editing, production, graphic design, etc., etc. if you want to do it right. But it can be learned and it can be done for almost nothing. And then your only job is to promote it and create new content. Unfortunately, that's not going to pay the bills when you first start doing it. It's probably going to take a while to start getting subscribers, people to watch. There's a lot of personal marketing behind it, whereas like you would join Facebook groups and message people. But yeah, there's a lot behind it, and it brings in a small amount of money, but it's something, if you stay consistent with, it's a good side hustle. It's something good to do. And you also get to talk about whatever you want to talk about. And it can be almost a form of therapy. Plus, it's kind of like working in a sense. But the thing is, since that's not going to pay the bills completely, and it's not going to do it immediately or for a little while, there's other things you could do in the meantime. Now, what I like to do is, I have my podcast here. I have another podcast. I also have a clothing company, and I'm starting a new business today that we're going to do together. Now, the clothing company and the podcast, they relate to a similar niche. I'm basically creating content and clothing that I would wear. I'm not worried about anything else outside of that. I'm doing things I enjoy doing and I like doing. Just like this podcast. I'm not choosing topics that I think people want to listen to. I'm choosing topics that I think will be interesting that I want to talk about. That's the number one mistake people make, is they try to make content and stuff for other people. Now, with the podcast, I create content. This is episode number 7. I have a Facebook page. There's a YouTube page. There's a WordPress page. There's a Shopify page. And there is I think that's it. Oh, did I say Spotify and Anchor and Google Podcasts? There's a lot of pages I have to maintain. Now, with my home, but it can be learned and it can be done for almost nothing. And then your only job is to promote it and create new content. Unfortunately, that's not going to pay the bills when you first start doing it. It's probably going to take a while to start getting subscribers, people to watch. There's a lot of personal marketing behind it, whereas like you would join Facebook groups and message people. But yeah, there's a lot behind it, and it brings in a small amount of money, but it's something, if you stay consistent with, it's a good side hustle. It's something good to do. And you also get to talk about whatever you want to talk about. And it can be almost a form of therapy. Plus, it's kind of like working in a sense. But the thing is, since that's not going to pay the bills completely, and it's not going to do it immediately or for a little while, there's other things you could do in the meantime. Now, what I like to do is, I have my podcast here. I have another podcast. I also have a clothing company, and I'm starting a new business today that we're going to do together. Now, the clothing company and the podcast, they relate to a similar niche. I'm basically creating content and clothing that I would wear. I'm not worried about anything else outside of that. I'm doing things I enjoy doing and I like doing. Just like this podcast. I'm not choosing topics that I think people want to listen to. I'm choosing topics that I think will be interesting that I want to talk about. That's the number one mistake people make, is they try to make content and stuff for other people. Now, with the podcast, I create content. This is episode number 7. I have a Facebook page. There's a YouTube page. There's a WordPress page. There's a Shopify page. And there is I think that's it. Oh, did I say Spotify and Anchor and Google Podcasts? There's a lot of pages I have to maintain. Now, with my homepage, what I'm able to do is I'm able to create merch for my podcast. So I've created a lot of merch. I've plugged it into my WordPress page. So that's another form of income coming in as well. Another form that I have coming from the podcast is YouTube views. I have all my videos, podcasts, whatever, uploaded to YouTube. I get paid every time someone watches those things. Now, say if you're listening to my podcast on Spotify and it brings you to my website. You get to my website, you have the opportunity to you have the opportunity to watch my YouTube videos. You also have the opportunity to buy merch. So if I'm promoting my podcast, I'm basically promoting my merch and my website and my other social media platforms. So I only have to do it through one avenue. That's why I like doing this podcast, The One Time in Rehab. It's mental health, screwed up things that happen in rehab, and stuff like that. Basically just my experiences working in the rehab center. I came to this topic because I'm not really qualified to do anything else. I'm not good at really anything. I don't have much, job experience other than running and owning and working in facilities. So when I came to this point where I didn't want to work in the field anymore for a little while at least, I was sitting here thinking, like, what the hell am I going to do? What should I do? The decision I made was I'm not going to do anything unless I enjoy doing. I'm not going to do something unless I'm passionate about it. Otherwise, I'd rather live under a bridge. It's not worth being miserable just to barely get by. So with that decision is where I came up with the podcast. It's talking about things I enjoy talking about, things that I'm knowledgeable in. Probably one of the only fields I know a lot about, for other people and myself as well. So why not, here's the thing. Having mental health issues and being bipolar and having Asperger's and having a drug addiction are, you can look at those as flaws, but you can use those flaws. Use those flaws to your advantage. And that's what I'm doing. I'm exploiting my mental disabilities, and I'm able to create income from them. Who would have told you, hey, you're born bipolar? You can make some money doing that. Unfortunately for me, my OnlyFans career didn't work out. No one wants to see my tits. And I mean, if you want to go back to OnlyFans, you can. More power to you. I think OnlyFans. Listen, if I could sell feet pics for $200 a pop, I would too. You know who you are. But yeah, since OnlyFans wasn't an option, I came to podcasting. And now here I am. Now, as I'm doing this podcasting, this is basically a full-time job for me. It takes a lot of time. Like today's episode, by the time I cut it and add graphics and edit it and everything, I'm not gonna be done till tonight. And it's 9:15 in the morning. I've been prepping for this since 5. So it's a lot. It's fun. I mean, it's cool. But what do you do in the meantime? Like, how am I able to afford to live while I'm doing these enjoyable things that hopefully will be my full-time work in the future? So what I do is I sell streetwear and shoes. I resell them, like Supreme and Yeezy and stuff like that. Like, I'm 36 years old. I have no business owning anything Supreme anymore. So what I do, or what I did and what I do is let me switch over views. So here is today's rack. You see there's some Supreme bags and some Lamborghinis, just Supreme jackets, a lot of Antisocial and New Kid Cudi merchandise, some Kanye stuff, some Gucci shoes. Now, this stuff is basically, a lot of it's been worn, but it looks brand new. What I do is I wash it in cold water once, let it hang dry, and then what I do is I steam it with the steam press. Once I do that, it looks beautiful. Here's a rug. This is a Virgil Abloh wetgrass IKEA rug. They're extremely hard to get. It's worth a decent amount of money. So I'm gonna unload it. I'm unloading these things to basically provide me. I'm buying time is what I'm buying, so I can grow my podcast and my side businesses in the meantime. So here's what I'll be selling today. Now to sell it, because when it comes to stuff like that, when it comes to shoes and to like streetwear, like Supreme and stuff like that, people buy it like fucking candy for some reason. Well, I know why, because it's hard to get, and I was into it once too when I was a little bit younger. And there's stores that will you can go to like you can go to malls and stores now, and they'll buy the stuff from you on the spot, but you're not going to make as much money as you could doing it my way. My way is not original. It's probably done by a million people. All I do is I take nice pictures of everything, put it on Facebook Marketplace, put my contact information down, and post it. The first time I did that, I posted 15 pairs of shoes on Facebook. I thought it was going to take me forever to unload those. They were gone within an hour and 45 minutes, and I had cash in my hand. And now some of these shoes are, some of these shoes worth like $1,000, $2,000, and they're paying market value for them. They're not paying what I paid for them, which was very low. So that's basically what I do in order to be able to do this. And it works. It doesn't take me very long to do the clothes thing. I have to devote maybe half a day to getting everything set up and everything cleaned. You get the magic erasers and you clean the shoes real good. It's not that hard, and it's good money. What if you don't have streetwear or shoes? Easy. It's the same thing I do with that. If you have things lying around the house that you don't want that are of value, any value, clean it up, throw it on Facebook Marketplace. The key with Facebook Marketplace is whatever you're selling, like for instance, I'm selling shoes, I will join as many shoe groups as possible, because in those groups are like 10,000 members for each group. 10,000 members for each group, sometimes more. So joining as many of those groups as you can, or if you're local, there's garage, like say I live in Carmel, Indiana, so there's Carmel Garage Sale group. There's 10,000 people in that group. You put a post in there, your stuff's going to go pretty quickly. And if it doesn't, you just keep lowering the price. If you want to get prices, the most accurate place to get prices is you go to eBay. You do a search. In the filters, you click that you want to see only sold listings. You search for whatever it is you're selling, and you see what it's selling for. If it's used condition, find that one that was in used condition that's sold like that. It's very useful. That way you know what people are paying. You know what people are willing to pay for it. So there you go. That's basically how I make my living now, and how I'm able to podcast, because I'm not making a lot of money podcasting yet. I'm starting to take on more sponsorships. I'm starting to sell more merch, but it's going to be a while before this is my full-time job. This is kind of a passion project that I enjoy doing, and I'm going to keep doing it, because my problem always was I would start something and I would never be able to finish it. So I try to keep that in mind, especially with the podcast, and I just keep going with it. And anytime I have a spare moment, I'm making graphics for it. I'm updating my website. I'm reaching out to people on social media. It's fun, because I'm talking about something. I'm selling a product I can stand behind, and for the most part, like, I'm selling my podcast, but I'm not selling it, because these huge advertising corporations are the one paying me, not you. So I'm able to basically push what I feel is right to people without having to expect anything in return from them, other than just listening and clicking a button to like whatever it is that I posted. Today, we're going to start a business. I had a business idea this morning. I have a lot of business ideas, and my main basically, I just throw a bunch of shit at the wall and see what sticks. I'll throw as much at that wall as I possibly can, and eventually something will stick. The podcast was something I threw at the wall. It didn't really stick because it's not paying me, but I enjoy doing it. So today's idea is called IndieCast. Indie as in Indianapolis, cast as in podcast. What is IndieCast? Well, IndieCast is my new company. This hopefully won't be a side hustle. This will hopefully be my main income moving forward. What we do is, all right, so think of like a math tutor, or you take guitar lessons, and the guy comes to your house for an hour and he teaches you how to play guitar. Well, for IndieCast, what we do is we will come to your house, we'll set up a podcasting studio for you. We'll walk you through how to record. We'll teach you how to record. We'll teach you how to edit. But for the most part, we're going to bring the stuff to your house. You're going to do your podcast. We're going to leave. We're going to cut it up. We're going to edit it. We're going to produce it. We're going to direct it. We're going to post it on your social media if you have them for your podcast. If not, we will make them for you. So basically think of a math tutor, but with a podcast studio that comes to your house. First, we're going to need a logo. So what we're going to do is we are going to pull up. I've already made the logo this morning. I'll show it to you. Now with graphic design and stuff, I like to use Photoshop or Canvas. They're both really good. Canvas is pretty easy. You don't need any experience doing anything else. So this is going to be the logo. Now we have our logo. What's next? Our description. Product description is what I just went over. What IndieCast is a mobile podcast studio that will come to your house. It will set up in your house and help you film and record, or one or the other, your podcast. What I'm going to do to make this different is I don't think anyone else is doing it. I know no one else is doing it around here, but I'm going to gear it towards, people that are in their early teens to late teens, kids that need hobbies or activities. Bobby sucks at football. Bobby might be a good podcaster. So get him podcast lessons. Have somebody come to your house and set up, and he can have his own podcast, and he can show his friends, and he can put it on Facebook. It's a great idea. Healthy hobby. It's almost like therapy because you get to talk about what you're feeling. It's good. I think I think it's going to work. So there's our description. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to film a commercial for it. I've got all this video production equipment, which you don't really need. I've got literally a camera. There's a light here. There's a mic here. There's a little mixer right there that I plug the mic into. That's it. This whole setup I have costs less than $1,000 for everything. Well, not including the computer. You probably already have a computer. So if you have a computer already, you can do this for $200-$300. You can get the mic and the arm and the lighting and your camera. Your software is going to be key, but there's a lot of good free software online, and the ones that aren't free aren't that expensive, and they work. They work very well, and they work for beginners. I started with those programs when I first started out doing this, and it took forever, but I was able to learn everything about them pretty quickly, and now I don't need. It takes me. I can go through things pretty easily. So we've got our logo, we've got our description, we've got our commercial. Next, we're going to make a Facebook page. Once that Facebook page is made, we are going to upload our logo to it, upload some content, basically explain what we are, throw up a few images, advertising images, stuff I make through Photoshop. And then before I do anything else, I'm going to put up a WordPress website too, but that's kind of just like the Facebook page. It's just going to be a main hub for all my social media to go to. And we could probably do appointments and stuff through that website. We'll do the website in another episode because websites take forever, but they're cool. We've got the commercial. We've got the website. We've got the social media. And that's enough right there. That's enough to start that business. Now, obviously, I would need equipment. I have the equipment. So I'm being resourceful. I'm trying to do things that I don't need to buy additional stuff for. I'm trying to utilize what I already have. Because a lot of people will complain that, I don't have the resources. It's not about the resources. It's about being resourceful. I was living in a fucking trailer 6 years ago. So, if I was able to do it with no resources, anybody can. It's not hard. And the things I'm going over today are things you could start basically for free. So IndieCast is the new company. We've got the description, we've got the commercial, we've got the Facebook page. So next, all we're going to really do is, go on Facebook and we're going to join local groups. We're going to, try and reach out to figure out how the best way to market to the parents is. We're going to do a Facebook marketing campaign, which is great because you're able to target in locally and for what people are looking for. So my keywords would be like tutoring, hobbies, football practice, basketball practice, all in this area. We're going to something like this. You're not going to your key to a successful business is which demographic are you going for, and how do you get to that demographic? My demographic is like, listen, I live in Carmel. All these people around me are all like families and stuff. They probably think I'm a drug dealer or something because I'm like the only person like me who lives here. Well, with this area, and there's Fishers and Broad Ripple, and if you're not in Indiana, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But they're like the upper class places, places I and probably you have no business being, but that's cool. We'll take their money. That's fine. So we're gonna advertise towards these more upper middle class towns and figure out a way to get directly to the parents. We may have to join, the best things is the schools around here. The schools are always selling advertising. That's where I'm going to be buying my advertising from, is the schools, because I'm trying to reach out to the parents and the kids. Also, we'll create podcasts for anyone else that wants them done. It's just, think of like Excedrin and headache migraine. So Excedrin is caffeine and Tylenol. Headache migraine store brand is caffeine and Tylenol. Or say Midol. Midol's got one different ingredient. I don't know why I know this. One different ingredient other than Excedrin. But the key behind it is the marketing behind it. Say I'm selling you give me a bottle of Tylenol and you tell me I need to sell this. I'm just going to find out what your ailment is and tell you that this will help for it. Your knees hurt? Tylenol. Your head hurts? Tylenol. If it was Advil, I would do the same thing. It's very, marketing is key. So that's what we're going to do. This may be able to be used for a lot of other different types of demographics. It could really be used by anybody, but it's a lot harder to advertise and market to everybody than it is to kind of saturate a market. With IndieCast, you can put any name there, and you can put any type of company there, and it's going to work for you. Also, service jobs. See, this is the easiest job to get into is like a service job. Like if you pressure wash, or you clean gutters, or you're a lawn guy, or those businesses are very easy to start. For you, I don't have skills like that, so I couldn't do it. But if you do the same type of plan that I just laid out with the social media and all that stuff, you can start your own business nearly immediately with all you need your equipment, which you probably have already if you're skilled in that, and move forward. There's no reason to do something you don't like doing anymore. There's so many avenues for other types of income rather than working a job you hate. Don't leave treatment and work. You can, but you go back to work as a server. That's where I started using drugs, is serving tables. People with social anxiety and stuff like that shouldn't be in a restaurant, and you don't have to be anymore. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do, because there are other ways to make money. I refuse to ever work for anybody again, and I refuse to do anything I don't like doing again. There's no reason to. You only live once, and I'm miserable as it is. I need things that are enjoyable, things that make me happy, because with my mental health issues and stuff, it's I need structure in my life, and these things do create structure. It keeps me busy all day, and I'm able to stay focused on them because I know they make me money, and I love money. I'm sure you do too. Service jobs, OnlyFans, and that's really it today. And the last one we'll go over is drop shipping. Now, the reason I'm going over these is because I did months of research on all of these, and there's so much garbage out there. There's so many things that will just waste your time or take your money. If you go online, you search, you say you want to start a drop shipping company. Oh yeah, join this site. We'll provide everything for you. What they don't tell you is these companies are located in China, and your customers are gonna get a shit product in 6 months. You're not gonna get any. You're not gonna keep customers. You're not gonna get any returning business. It's all gonna be always going for new business and new business and new business, and you have no existing business. I don't want to sell anything I can't stand behind. That's the drop shipping. Drop shipping's great if you have a good product, because it's all you do is market it. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of good American products that you can drop ship. But what you can do is there's this thing called print on demand. What it is it's called the one I use is called Printful. So you're able to put your designs onto shirts, pants, hats, socks, whatever, coffee mugs, whatever it may be. Now, the cool thing to do is you go in Photoshop, or if you don't know anything about Photoshop or graphic design, download Canvas, Canvas. There's a free version and a premium version. The premium version is like $10 a month, but you can literally design you can do the entire graphic design for a website on there. It's an amazing program. It's great for beginners. It's extremely affordable, and you could use it for free until you're able to purchase the membership. Create the image in Canvas, save it to your computer or your phone. Oh, also, you can do all of these things from your smartphone. The only time I use this computer that you're seeing right now is when I'm recording. That's the only time. I'm not even in my office very much because I do everything off my phone. I designed a whole line of clothing off my phone. I designed an entire website off my phone. I manage all my podcast social media off my phone. So if you have a phone, you have a working finger or two, and you can see you are qualified to do these things. Now, I know what you're thinking, because I still think, I'm not even qualified to work at McDonald's. But this is your thing. This is your own thing. The only one who's going to decide if you're qualified to do it is you. And there's enough you can research. There's enough help out there that if you really want to do it, you can. It's not that hard. Like I said, if I can do it, anybody can do it. So you put the logo on the shirt or the design. You can create a whole line of clothes. If you're creating a whole clothing line, there's a couple things you want to do. Like, you don't want to put out too much clothing at once. You just want to do a few different designs so you can push those designs. And you're going to go about it, once you do that and you load it up, you make a Shopify account so you're able to create a website. And then you can add those to your website, or you can have Shopify make you a website. Probably do both. You might as well. So now you're a drop shipper. You can sell really anything you want. The only thing you have to do is market it after you design it. That's the hard part. Going on Facebook, being consistent, responding to people, maintaining all of your social media, maintaining your website. If you're going to do paid ads, if it's something that Facebook would approve, because that's a big thing for me too. I won't start a business or get into anything that I can't advertise on Facebook. Meaning, nothing medical related, no sex, no drugs, none of the fun shit, no firearms, anything like that. Basically, check Facebook's marketing policies before you do anything you want to do online, because Facebook marketing is by far the best online tool for any type of ads. It's going to get the post to exactly to the person you want to get it to. Say if you're looking for older men who like soccer, you can target those people through Facebook, and then you can add location to that. It's a lot of information in this episode, I know. I'm sorry, but I'm willing to help you with it. If you have any questions or whatever, I'll walk through these things with you. I have absolutely no problem doing that. It's free. If something you want to do, I would reach out to me. You've got nothing to lose. I can be reached at Craig at onetimeinrehab.com. Once again, that's Craig at onetimeinrehab.com. So email me. I'll help you go through all this stuff, and we can, I can help you come up with a plan and get you started. Like I said, the more productive drug addicts like you and I, the better the world will be. If someone, I don't enjoy helping people at all, except unless they're like us. Like, I like helping people like us, and you know who I'm talking about. So I think that's it. I think we went over everything. And once again, this would be a lot easier if I could just start an OnlyFans. But look at that nose. Well, I guess I'm out. If you have any questions, email me. Love you guys. Bye.